Oma Guru Beda Dara Pada Manju Yeri Wagi Dasu Madi Jana Jana Ara Samuda Yeri Pada Sawa Sidi Oma Guru Beda Dara Pada Rava Manju Yeri Wagi Dasu Madi Jana
아마 여긴 좋았었나.
사zel로 대예다 예들고 대셔노 중대 대예베 그저거 공부를 라지를 예예 자주 세베겐데 저번은 탑제도 조대 대대 좀대대 삼면 나와 세계 남자의 등에다가 녀뭐 주고 야한데 세 자주 삼아서 바바제레제 원조제 셔라제 바르도 제바 삼회 제바 닐라나 고모가 대다라야 다시 너바 나와 나와 되네 산제에 되서 샤레베 장조 삼바 삼바 제모 바바제레 원조라 대게제면서 대제 보 칸라라 셔라제 바르도 제바 삼회 제바 제바 대바 대지다라바 대제 바바다 장조 삼바 삼바 제모 바바제레 샤란다데 볼란디게 제메소 샤레 보아리게 보아리게 보모 칼라라 샤라제 보르도 삼메 제바 제바 데바 데데다 남라 타와라 자데 보모 가보 데다 산시제 동바 남바 양다바 제소 다오 수동바오 동바니 수소 수레 동바니 셰마이 동바니 레장 수셰마이 노 데진도 조와다 데제다 데제다 샤레 보데다 제단제 동바니 데 칭예 메바 마제바 마가 마제바 메바 제바다 제와 제와 메바 카와 메바 샤레 보데다 베나 동바니라 수메 소와메 데제메 데제메 나바 예바 메 나와 메 나메 제메니 예베 소메 다메 제메 로메 레자메 제메도 메게 카메 바네 이게 카메 이게 나바라 셰베 카게 바도야 마레바메 마레바 제바메 가제메 가제베 바도야메도 데진도 동에 군중와다 고바다 메 셰베 토바메 마도바야메도 샤리에보데다 저저 삼바나 도바메베 제레 샤라게 바르도 삼바나 땡제 네데 슬라 제바 다바메데 신제로레 신도 데네 양엘레 데베다 대손도 나바쉐베 상제 당제 샤라게 바르도 데네라나메 바야다바 소베 장주도 원바라 소바 사이게소 데다 샤라게 바르도 제메가 리바 제메가 라나베베 이냐바다 냐베가 동에 담제라도 제바라 제베가 미세바나 데바라시바 샤라게 바르도 집에 아메바디아다 가제 바라 상나데 모데에서 와야레보 장조 삼바 삼바 셴바 데다 샤라게 바르도 사모라라 바라자와 데네 점데 데팅에 데레 시데 장조 삼바 삼바 셴바 바바 셰셰 온조라 레조 지죠 레제보데 데제너레제보데 데제네 지라주제 대바신도 샤라제 파르도 셴발라 데네 이제 담을 때가 저들이 대바 샤레다데 보다 장주 삼바 삼바 셴바 바바 셰레세 원조다 탐제다 데베 고로다다 라다메다 라마이다 데서시베시데 유담데 점네데 예송발라 바바데도 예배네 저다 받는 의시 수준가게 도도제 두바발라 마에 보이 내가 강조해서라 자세로 사마란다 샤다라 사마라베 사마레자
아가 사마란자
샤다라 사마라야
베야다
가데 가데 바라가데 바라 상가데 보데 소와 바바구조 소에 가예 데베도 제 오바데 데카리 라도 예바데 다게 바데 데베 소레냐 바든지 신데 고레에 소와
给日东大给说是我他，
没得那边见到这我到对吧？这些被所所学的
他
那些
是在家
有。乐队会的写着这些这些的马拉街道啊，来吧的来吧的马也会把这个的把钱钱。年纪你们那边的上的心中你个自己是说，
年轻更多，
年不能白了，金钱没把给我请给了。所以我去就不进，留多几百叫我的话，西北结束六大天马也看那来的西线的话，年末点播年年也别说他见到我那家伙。也说他打出把他切巴了，他多把他点把他去。也别没我东爱滚结果，也得没说随便动作。也没人的大概的话了，对你结果给我了区别。南大三八地，他妈也这单七星八月全部。天边早晚叔叔他挂了，就把你我这个区别。那也是说龙王极限多，马就多瓦回家带他。多年多瓦这边回结果，讲究生着中华经典。
生长给上
最前面南宋嘛啦，我把每年讲究白说吧，年把多年结识中华。怎么找个老把
请给我
老辈有那些话细节的样大的那这些之外，新年老多送多这个老牛多知道给我
请给我
怎么咱家的多就把那开发工地抽出
多西天
天上一位中华当把的这个牛多就把新年。这些我说南来的个南把当这个话，这嘛没呢也把你就说那对对说话
请给
天天就得你我的你的
在那
那这
之
些
前
多
多年是马也
这些年就说将来没有我当的苏些中华
请给
待到浪上准备新年到最先准备多拿下来。
接大南địa和多的区别，
野外野外人家老多子野外很多样的，这没季节别老龙节节啥的龙节元节，这些讲解我们哦。我也说也没给多些上多那么东安心也 我也见着也来吧，他也
이게 중에 지겨를 배 굽자 저거 내 중에 몇 말로 어 maybe you can there's one chair here what there's a nice one in the patio no here excuse me there's one chair over there yes yes 상계 저당 소리에 저당마 장주로 바로 단계 저당 아기 지지는 되는 상 다라의 상계 저바라 상계 저당 소리에 저당 장주 바로 단계 저당 아기 지지는 되는 상 다라의 상계 상계 저당 소리에 저당마 장주 바로 단계 저당 다게 수시는 되고 상 돌아 이제 상계 저바라 저 지금 좀 지금 좀 잠깐만 봐야도 봐서 상계가 공부 좀 더지 장도 벌어지 대제도 담배 좀 뭐지 세네 그런 장주에 있으면 세 담배 선바라 세 나도 계속 참는데 하템바데 아니 이도 소와 대신기 셰나 펑감 다바 장류게 하고쇼 고수미 예메 예담식 태난다 해버르니즈 나게다 세낭종 장심 개인도 마저 삽세게 남도 쇼 잠바 제면도 신네 삽세게 남도 송 the song possessing the four mindfulnesses, instructions on the view of the middle way, causing a rain of cities to fall by the great seventh, and translated by Lama Zopa Rinpoche. So I think we can go maybe again from the beginning. On the seat of unchangeable, unified method and wisdom sits the kind Guru, essence of all refuges, a Buddha complete in abandonment and realization, abandoning thoughts of faults, make requests to the Guru in pure appearance. Not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of devotion and respect. With unforgetting mindfulness, hold your mind in a state of devotion and respect. So this is remembering the Guru as the Buddha. In the prison of limitless samsara suffering, the 6 types of sentient beings, bereft of happiness, wander. Fathers and mothers who have nurtured me with kindness, abandoning attachment and hatred, meditate on cherishing others and compassion. Not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of compassion with unforgetting mindfulness. Hold your mind in a state of compassion. Remembering compassion in the delightful, inestimable, celestial mansion of great bliss. Your own body of purified aggregates and elements abides as a divine holy body, a mind-sealed deity of inseparable three kayas. Not holding yourself as ordinary, trained in divine pride and clear appearance. Not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of profundity and clarity. With unforgetting mindfulness, hold your mind in a state of profundity and clarity. Remembering the Guru as the deity. So His Holiness is in His Holiness's commentary here, not simply mentioning in the delightful celestial mansion, but not mentioning just that, but in the delightful, inestimable celestial mansion of great bliss, right? Here His Holiness explains that by cultivating this great bliss and then realizing emptiness by way of experiencing great bliss, and this inseparable emptiness, bliss, is mentioned here. So His Holiness explains like this. And again, His Holiness mentions that the great bliss is not the ultimate goal, but it is simply a method. So here, see it as a method, not as the ultimate goal, but a means of achieving the ultimate goal. A method of achieving that. So the great bliss here is a method of the ultimate goal, and also how it achieves that ultimate goal is by of first achieving the innate clear light, by first achieving the innate, spontaneous, primordial clear light. By way of something like forcefully rabo lubu longsen sentapso koba dechengi chechin sungsha. Rabo lubu longsen sentapso koba dechengi chechin.
Great bliss forcefully seizes the moments of force advantages wind flows.
Of course, winds and of course consciousnesses, of course minds. So the great bliss forcefully seizing the course
Advantages. Advantages.
Advantages. Advantages. Advantages. The course advantages wind minds. By seizing that, then the subtle primordial mind, bringing that into realizing emptiness. This primordial clear light is the clear light after the three appearances. After the three appearances have ceased, and this great bliss is a way of making the clear light manifest. And having manifested the clear light, then the clear light and shunyata as subject and object, yu jundu charwa. And this clear light 명or tonu dobe sonam sarshara meshing tonu dobe lotini on tigdo 명or tonu dobe sonam sarshara meshing.
But in our visualization of the imagination, right? We visualize the subject.
Oh, microphone.
I'm very loud.
Thank you.
So Mehor means in our imagination or visualization, we visualize the subjective aspect of the wisdom arising in the form of deity appearance, right?
Antisolinus then adds, Tonyu Tobi Sonam Parshawa, Zamlashana, Judiciadan Tumoache. The Donis may be Shig Sonam Parshawa Shana, not Lamihilu means this song.
So His Holiness said that if we simply visualize the subjective aspect of the wisdom, realizing emptiness in the form of a deity, that's common to all Buddhist tantric classes or the practices. Now, if we visualize the subjective aspect of wisdom, realizing emptiness in a great blissful nature, inseparable with a great bliss, wisdom, that inseparable great bliss, wisdom, realizing emptiness arising in the form of deity is exclusive to the highest Yoga Tantra, Mahanuttara Yoga Tantra. What?
I did not understand.
You didn't understand that?
What's the part?
Okay, let me repeat. Yeah. So the subjective aspect of the wisdom realizing emptiness arising as a deity form, that is common to all Buddhist tantric classes, practices, period, right? Now distinction comes. Now that subjective aspect of the wisdom realizing emptiness is inseparably conjoined with great bliss. And that inseparable great bliss wisdom realizing emptiness arising in the form of a deity is exclusive to Mahanuttara Yoga Tantra, Highest Yoga Tantra.
Sonam the Kinestrovian.
Subjective aspect.
Oh, Sonam, subjective aspect. Oh, in Sheba Koran Songora, Sheba Koran was Sheba Koran, and she like an apache to show us the Konzo Kodeo Shucharo. Come on, the Sonam said Tanya the Q and not a South Shoshi. Sonam did. Just there's this one technical word, so I was wondering how to get this word. Sonam since the Tanya Kadu Juraina.
The Tibetan, technical term is sunam, which technically means the subjective aspect of the perception or the wisdom, right? So we said arising in the form of a deity, that you find a little difficult to understand. But if we simply say the wisdom realizing emptiness, which the subjective mind arises as a deity, you might find it easy to understand, right?
So a deity, when we say deity, a deity is simply representing the purified state, right? This is the deity. So here, His Holiness comments that, for example, in the Guyo Samaja, in the Acharya Nagarjuna's tradition, 32 deity, then it is because of the 32 different aspects of our psycho-physical aspects, and therefore, from the basis of those purification, then we have like 32 deities. And then also the same applies to the 62 deity Chakra Samvara as well, right? Like this, His Holiness adds. So here, His Holiness, as just as it is mentioned, your own body of purified aggregates and elements abides as a divine holy body. And then His Holiness adds this, the three kayas, the three kayas. Usum yeme shiktena das. A mind-sealed deity of inseparable three kayas is there, is here. Sangsum meseba gengi kolo mandubormyo. Shenduen tarchimor dunubashi hongala. Sangsum meseba gengi kolo mandubor mihons. Sangsum meseba gengi kolo. Nos. So the mandala of the three secret kendesungwe. Nos. Indinapa surana. Sangsum meseba gengi kolos.
For one to be able to kind of spontaneously, benefit sentient beings, it is essential that the three sacred, mandalas, which assuming is body, speech, and mind, must be realized.
So His Holiness adds, for example, we say the body of the Tathagata, right? Even though we say the body of the Tathagata, it is inseparable from the speech. And we also say the speech of the Tathagata, even though we say it, the speech of the Tathagata, that is also inseparable from the mind of the Tathagata. So the three kayas, inseparable. So here, I think the three kayas, it shouldn't be understood as usually, like Dharmakaya and so forth. Not like that, but the body, speech, and mind in this context. But it also somehow makes sense with the body, speech, and mind, and also with three kayas, like the normal three kayas, Dharmakaya, Chugu, and Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. I think there is a correlation, right? The Dharmakaya with the enlightened mind, and Sambhogakaya, I think, with the enlightened speech, and then a Nirmanakaya with the enlightened body, right? I think there is a I think there is a way of linking that, or seeing the three kayas as aspects of the Buddha's body, speech, and mind like this. Not holding yourself as ordinary, train in divine pride and clear appearance. So ordinary is, I think, in essence, it is somehow seen as impure. This current state, our state, is a confused state, the samsaric state, impure state. So seeing it having these aspects is like the ordinary appearance, ordinary grasping, right? So how to transform that is by seeing as pure, by meditating as the deity, right? The deity is simply the deity is the purified state. And it is a matter of using the word purified state or the pure state. The natural state without all the confusion, the natural state without all the fabrication, without all the layers, but the basic nature, the basic state. So same meaning, but maybe different way of approaching, right? Is this clear? Like purified state or the pure state, right? So purified state is, whether we use this term purified state or pure state, there is no contradiction, right? Purified state is taking this premise of this pure state. But currently, with all these fabrications and layers, one needs to stains. So as we say, something like the adventitious stains, when one is freed from that, then the pure state becomes manifest, right? So this is like purified state or pure state, same. Not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of profundity and clarity. Sapse. So profundity refers to shunyata, and clarity Yeah, clarity refers to the deity. I think in Jeffrey Hopkins' translation, like something like the clarity, in lieu of that, I think Hopkins uses manifest, the manifest, right? So the manifest is, I think, the deity. So same clarity here, referring to the deity and profundity to shunyata. And then the actual part of mindfulness of the view, within that, then the view, the space-like emptiness view, and then illusion-like, I think, emptiness view. And the first, Nangshin Siba, Shejayi Kingona, Chuni Tandam, Yosegi Namki Kyap, Jode Tungi Nilushi Tenanda, Leche Pange, Tongze, Tongsang, Norup Ransim Gyandu Majo, Chuni Gingandu Sho, Temba Jemindo Shini, Chuni Gingandu Sumins. At the crossroads of various gondolas, in the mandala of objects of knowledge appearing and existing, ultimate reality, the sky of absolute clear light, pervades. A fundamental nature, inexpressible in meaning, is there. Abandoning mental fabrications, look at the essence of total emptiness. Not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of ultimate reality with unforgettable mindfulness. Hold your mind in a state of ultimate reality. So His Holiness explains, comments that when meditating the space-like emptiness, just as that is mentioned to be Jyote Twengi Nilu She Sumbatar Sungsha. Jyote Twengi Nilu the Sheva.
Just as it's mentioned in the text. Just as there's reference, in the text itself, which is referred to as a fundamental nature, inexpressible in meaning, is there.
Mm. Fabrications, fabrications. Hopkins Gitinal, elaborations, right? Elaborations. Abandoning mental fabrications. mental fabrications and the leches the jana mena. Nos. Leche che tava se di che shag. Leche che tava se. Lao. Lare. Paladano lusalu, paladano losalu, pada chasa chese. Leche che tava. 근데 못하지 혹시 르시 가자 지금 전당 뭐변 내수다 민tunbar 남도의 주변 르시가 따와 셔바시 왕신 양 알아대 로하르시 지금 뭐변 내수다 민tunbar 남도의 주변 르시가 따와 벤 센시도 지여 르시가 따와 대연지 동담마한테 지금 줄을 샤유나 내가 저 군수에 된지 쉬고 어떤지 별로시 다와랑 했어요. 소시. 그렇지. 다 노스. 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 네, 세가 다왔어. 양 대응업인 예술의 내장 세자 초르와 잠대 셰나 맞춰봐시나 예술을 따왔어. 니루 사면편 이 가이나 가이 중세이나 니루 사면편아 따주네 되게 나는 되게 말아 니루 사면편아 따주네 요즘 예술 동부 총재미 러비에 땅에 타다라바니 최근 되는 동부를 또 그렇죠. 나는 되게 오, 노스. 에너지 노스. 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 We are just having this discussion on these other views, you know, as mentioned here, abandoning mental fabrications. So there is something like a fabricated view, you know. 남도기 뭐변 니수다 민tunbar 남도기 주변 수식이 다와시가시 모신 어더마 less 공감我们是那几个人，那些个动不算的。我们是那几考的几个都几个赛的，那些些。I was just thinking in Jeremiah's commentary to Chandrakirti's entering the middle way. I think there's a reference to these views, you know. So here in His Holiness's commentary, His Holiness uses these two specific terms for some like categories of something like some other like fabricated views, you know, something like that. So just having some discussion. But sometimes this kind of fabricated views sometimes they are more complex than the correct view. You know, they seem to take away more of the energy. They're quite complicated. Okay. A fundamental nature, inexpressible in meaning. This is the same as emptiness beyond conception, right? As we spoke the last few days. Now, nos. 여긴 되는 또 무슨 상로 되죠? 아. 근데는 또 망보지 뒤쳐서시. 그것이 이게 가져 세주세요. 그죠? 그것이 이게 가져 세주 말. 그것이 이게 가져. 아니, 그런 따와도 배. 그것이 이게 가져 되는 말이지. 그래서 따와도 그것이 되는 샤워 말이지. So this space like emptiness for the conceptual to realize that it's quite difficult, right? Because our conceptual thoughts has a tendency to hold, to apprehend, to hold onto that, to hold onto it, right? What was the term? Held object, right? Held object, and then what was the other one? Appearing object, held object, and perceived object, or appearing object, right? Held object and appearing object. So all conceptual thoughts have these two, right? A held object and a appearing object. So as soon as we try to direct our minds toward emptiness with conceptual thoughts, then as soon as we think about emptiness, even though we think all phenomena are empty, yeah, the held object is emptiness. Emptiness is the held object, but the appearing object is emptiness as being truly existing, right? This is the appearing object, right? So conceptual thoughts, I think they always, the held object always appears as truly existing to conceptual thoughts. The held object appears as truly existing to all conceptual thoughts. Right? Yeah. 먼저 또보이나 지 신유 된루도 나게 잡송으로 된루도 나게 잡스. 노스. So yes, correct. So then our five senses not able to realize emptiness, not able to process emptiness. Our conceptual thoughts, whatever it holds on to, that appears as truly existing, right? So then how to really understand this emptiness, right? How to? So right now, it's like we have like something like a understanding of emptiness, irrespective of what how it perceives, how it perceives. Let's not go there, but at least we, for the time being, try to hold, at least try to make emptiness the held object. At least try to make emptiness our held object. For the time being, this is what we try in when we meditate on the space like emptiness, right? At least try to the kare yundu namgi chik tawa kanang dwa the sashitijina lo dig choso tambar chaos. So His Holiness always reminds us. There's one passage from Jirim, which is a commentary on the middle way, the root text by Acharya Nagarjuna, Tsawa Sherab Juron. Oh, Acharya Nagarjuna's fundamental wisdom. So something like Lotig Choso Tangwar Chaos.
So, which literally means that you should let your mind kind of go that way or that direction,
Yeah. So really like affirming in your mind that all phenomena, they don't truly exist. So to let the mind go in that direction, Nos. And also His Holiness's explanation. No matter how much we search, we can't find it. Where is this person? Right? And then there's one verse from the fundamental wisdom. 국민 홍보 내시면 엘라 테메 테르테메 디지셔바 폰데면 디지셔바 강시인스 디 군둥이 마초 칼주네 디지셔바 폰데면 디지셔 다지셔 폰데면 다지셔 강시인스 디페 스테나 펜부 쇼도 스칸난 것도와. So this one verse 디지파 주로나 국민 홍보 내시면 Ella teme.
So this verse is a little tough for me, so I asked you to say one line per se.
So His Holiness there is one verse from the fundamental wisdom. So His Holiness recites, this Pungmin, Pungbu Leshen Min. Pungmin.
Neither, it is neither aggregates and nor
other than
aggregates.
Pungmin, Pungbu Leshen Min. Tela teme, ter teme.
So it is not there in the aggregates. Tela teme.
Tela teme sidu Pungbula ani Tishinshaba Pungbu mes.
So the meaning is that the Tathagata is not in the aggregates, and aggregates are not Tathagata. Yeah. So the Tathagata is not literally, I think Much might explain, is not does not possess aggregates. So now what is Tathagata, or who is Tathagata, right?
So at this part, His Holiness, changes the last two lines, and instead of Tathagata, who is I? Right.
So His Holiness replaces the Tathagata by self, right? We're just looking for self, right? So if I'm not aggregate, I'm not in the aggregates, aggregate is not me, I don't possess aggregates, then who am I, right? Or what is I?
So this kind of like the five-fold reasoning or the sevenfold reasoning, and then when you investigate, there is no person, there is no I, right? And this, the absence of the I by way of existing in these ways, right? Absence of I, not finding it, then simply abiding in that reflection. Simply abiding in that reflection is meditating on the space-like emptiness. And now the illusion-like emptiness. Nawon natso tsochuki shidona shizatewe nishugi sasitong. Luti gyume demoshik tena da. Deno manyam toni gen urde. Ransim gayendu macho nandong gen nandu. Sho. Temba jemendu chene nandong gen nandu songus. At the crossroads of various appearances and the six collections, one sees the chaos of dualistic phenomena, which have no base at all. a spectacle of deceiving illusions is there. Don't believe it to be true. Look at the very essence of emptiness. Not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of appearance and emptiness. With unforgetting mindfulness, hold your mind in a state of appearance and emptiness. So after being in this equipoise of space like emptiness, and then during something like, what was the 11th yoga called? Yoga of action, right? So during the in-between sessions, then to look around and see things, to see the environment and inhabitants as a union of emptiness and appearance, right? As a union of the two truths, the union of the two truths. And for this, then also for meditation, then first analytical meditation, and then single-pointed meditation. And during analytical meditation, of course, like by way of the fivefold and then the sevenfold reasonings, and also Chiktote.
The reasoning of we called the reasoning of oneness or singularity, and the reasoning of difference or plurality, right? Chiktuda in Tibetan.
So by looking at it from different viewpoints, like the various scenario of truly existing, you know, if things existed truly, then they should exist by one of these means. And then when you've analyzed with these means, somehow something doesn't fit, right? So then this kind of reasoning, it helps in reaffirming, right? Reaffirming our minds in emptiness. So analyze first, and once one comes to the end, then simply resting the mind in that and not continuing with further analysis, but simply now single-pointed and simply, calm the mind and abide in emptiness, right? So these two analysis and calm abiding is really then completes the meditative state, It's important to have these twofold meditations, analyzing and then stopping and just let that sink, and simply resting in that, just resting in the conclusion, after all that analysis, then simply resting in emptiness, and then just reflecting on emptiness, just abiding in emptiness, right? Abiding in emptiness. Abiding in space, abiding in space. When you can use that logic, as we were talking yesterday, that at the generation stage, even though we are not actually transforming our three basic kayas into the resultant kaya, nevertheless, we reenact that process. Likewise, with our conceptual thoughts, we cannot actually truly realize emptiness, but just sort of trying to hold onto emptiness, at least being able to make emptiness the held object, even though it may not be the appearing object, is a way of reenacting the clear light state, the non-conceptual understanding of emptiness. So I think they are similar. There are parallels there, right? There are the same logic applies here as well, right? So if you go back and forth, it's like if you have some understanding of these generation stage practices, that is helpful in going to some of these other, like what we call the common practices. And if you have familiarity in the common practices, then you can use that logic, the science that is mentioned, that science, and bring that into the Tantra theory, Tantric theory, and Tantric practice. And that helps in bridging, the common practice with Tantric path, the common path with the Tantric path. This is, I think, very helpful. But Jebin to Shin and Nomdong and Nam Songs. The other Jizun Jambi Yang, Chui, Song of a Chamber, Muson, Dama, Keberchi, Chamber Shiding, Tati, and Jarvi, Goyang, Diang, Ranjena Yang Davi, Tawa, Tavi, Pacha, Job Shido, Shaji Kelong, Lobsang, Kesan Jasu, Deba was. The colophon, like that, these instructions on the view possessing the four mindfulnesses arranged as a song are a special teaching directly granted by the perfect Manju Gosha to the king of Dharma, Tsongkhapa the Great. They were composed by Sakya Bhikshu, Lobsang Kesan Jaso, the great seventh, in order to plant imprints of the most pure view in himself and others. Publisher's colophon, translated by Lama Zopa Rinpoche and dictated to Venerable Alisa Cameron in, is it Loira or Leura? Can you help with the pronunciation? Excuse me? Lura, Australia, in June 2015, lightly edited by Venerable Alisa Cameron, reviewed and edited by Venerable Tenzin Lekzo, in consultation with Taramba Geshe, Lobsang Tsundru, and Juna or Yuna, I don't know, Juna Repo, on the basis of Ume Tati Temba Shidengi Guryang Nguduk Chambe, edited by Doris Law, April 2023. Anzu tenda konan de jiktedo dila mingji sigre. Dila ming translation mara digdo danti. Anzu ngunju jinju sama kyangye shitwa. Right? Oh, the transliteration, right? Oh, this is very nice transliteration. Ume tati temba shidenki guryang ngudup chambeb. Even though it sounds like charbeb, but our Tibetan pronunciation, we always say chambeb. There's a little ha, because here in the beb, there is a prefix, unjura, prefix ha. And when you have that, when you combine the other word with that, there's usually this nasalized ha, chambeb. Like kando, you know, kando. Kando is Dhaka, Kandoma Dagini. Even though if you read, it looks like Kado. It looks like Kado. But if you say Kado, nobody would understand. So Kando. It's not a strong N. Also, it's not straight like Kado, but it's somewhere in between. Yes. So, it is right. So, ume tati. So, uma is middle way. Ta is view. Ti is like commentary. And temba is maybe mindfulness. She is for. Then is like possessing in this case. So ki is particle, and gur is like a song, you know, gur, and yang is melody. Ngutup is siddhi. Chambeb is like rain. But not just rain. Chambeb is like this George. Ngudup Chambeb. Oh.
This does.
Thus. Yeah, but somehow rain of cities, that sounds very good, you know. Rain side, this rain of Ngudup, rain of blessings or rain of cities, right? Ngudup Chambeb. Chilab Chambeb, rain of blessings. Okay, so Carlos.
Thank you, Rinpoche, for the wonderful teaching. I apologize. I think I might have missed a line. In the part that says, not holding yourself as ordinary, train in divide pride and clear appearance. Could you comment on the train in divine pride and clear appearance? And how is that clear appearance different than the state of profundity and clarity?
The fourth line, Pepper manzing mageda senang Jones. See? Even though here in the fourth line, it states very clearly, not holding yourself as ordinary, train in divine pride and clear appearance. In the Tibetan not holding yourself as ordinary, and then ngagel tang senang jong. So ngagel is pride, and senang ngagel tang senang jong. Okay, but the meaning is the same. Train in divine pride and clear appearance. Senang jong. Or Mageda Senang Johnson and the Playing Mageda Senang Jones. This one is no. So train in divine pride and clear appearance. So this is at something like in the training phase. In the training phase, train in divine pride and clear appearance. If now that I look at it, it seems these three lines are all quite similar, right? Not holding yourself as ordinary, train in divine pride and clear appearance. 1. Not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of profundity and clarity. 2. With unforgetting mindfulness, hold your mind in a state of profundity and clarity, right? So 3 times. And then if you look in the next verses, again, abandoning mental fabrications, look at the essence of total emptiness. 1. Not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of ultimate reality. 2. With unforgetting mindfulness, hold your mind in a state of ultimate reality. 3. And this also applies to the last verse as well, I think, right? Don't believe it to be true. Look at the very essence of emptiness. Not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of appearance and emptiness. With unforgetting mindfulness, hold your mind in a state of appearance and emptiness. 3. So it seems like 3 times, almost 3 times. 근데 탱숨숨숨해서 왜? 근데 탱숨숨 침벌 왜? 무슨? 이 숨숨 중에도 심할 왜? nenden치는 송이나? 아이 나게다 세낭 존스. 너스. 미디 된다. 아 제수 템바스. 아 템바카도 이게 세간 타모 숨지어라. 나 세간 타모 숨나네. 세간 당보때다 니버 숨바 간다 저거 말해. 딜스난다. 페버를 만지 나게다 세낭 존스. 아 템바카도 알링 디스야. 페버를 만지 나게다 세낭 존스 직치. Ransim Gayan do Majo, Sabzegi Nando Shos, Niche, Temper Jemedu Shene, sabsegi namdo sungs, di sung rwa, dinza, di sungge kapsu, sabsegi di ligu rwa. Ligu yunamen. Tanji, pepper manzi, nage da senan jongs, rwa. La, til sabse ligu marwe. Nos. Nos. Ani rasim jayan go manjok. Nos. Taba jeme do shine sabse gi ngam do sung. Nos. Okay. Then I think the last two lines, one is more like sho sungri kyuma sorejira. It's more like sort of requesting, not letting your mind stray, place it in a state of profundity and clarity, sort of like kyuma tangs lati.
Exaltation, exalting you to put your mind in that state. And then second one is, once you are in that state of mind, just hold on to it.
Yes. So this, but still, I'm sorry, I'm not getting to your question. So your question was training in divine pride and clear appearance. And then what is the difference with profundity and clarity? So here, I think the difference is divine pride is something like having the pride as the deity, and clarity is seeing oneself as the deity, right? So this is divine pride and clarity. Between these two, I think divine pride is considered more important. Yes. So divine pride and divine clear appearance, then training in that, and then profundity and clarity is now not, it's different, right? Profundity refers to emptiness and clarity refers to manifesting as the deity. Does that, can you ask the question once more?
I guess I wasn't familiar with the term divine pride, and then I wasn't sure how clear appearance differs from profundity and clarity. What clear appearance, the definition of that term would mean in that sentence.
So divine pride is seeing, out of state of emptiness, I am Vajrabhairava, right? So this is divine pride. And then seeing yourself from a state of emptiness as Vajrabhairava, seeing yourself as such is clear appearance. Clear appearance. So this is that, and profundity is, I think, emptiness, and clarity is the manifestation of the deity. I think. Did it do? Is that right? Or I think like this. I will go with that until one of you explains.
Thank you, Rinpoche. I had two questions. The first one, you mentioned great bliss forcefully ceases the coarse winds. How does this happen? And then the second question was the term that we were talking about, subjective aspect of wisdom. What is that exactly? Is it the clear light? Is it the meaning clear light or the actual clear light?
Now I don't know how the great bliss ceases the coarse winds. So I don't know. And what was the second part of the question?
It was the term subjective aspect of wisdom. What does that mean exactly? Is it the actual clear light?
That is the wisdom. So the subjective aspect of a consciousness would be the consciousness itself.
Oh, the consciousness itself.
Yeah, it's somehow like a confusing term. Like when you use that term, like it's like, oh, you come off as an intellectual, but really you're just referring to the consciousness itself. You know, it's really like seeing the consciousness as the deity. But if you want to sound a little, I don't know, then some more layers, then you can say the subjective aspect of the wisdom arising as the deity. And then it's like total confusion, you know.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you. Thank you. And next, yes.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Many years ago, Kirti Sanchab Rinpoche offered a offering prayer, which would be for Tsok. So you're offering to, it starts out as at Dharma Chakra at the center of the heart, indestructible, subtle wind and mind. Gurus, assemblies, mind-sealed deities. To you we offer desire enjoyments. Mind-sealed deities. I never understood what that was. And again, I see mind-sealed deity. Would Rinpoche please explain what is a mind-sealed deity? It's on page 4, the third line.
Oh, mind-sealed deity is the Yidam. Yidam. Yes. Mind-sealed deity is Yidam.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
There's a Sanskrit word, something beginning with like ish. Ishvadata. Yidam. What is the Sanskrit term for Yidam? Ishvadata? Ishvadata. Yes. Yes, I think Ishvadata. I think. If I'm not wrong, can you say it, please?
I don't know that, but Ishta Devta.
Ishta Devta. Ah, Ishta Devta. Yes, yes. I think so. Ishta Devta. I think this is the Sanskrit word for Yidam. And here translated as mind-sealed deity. Yes. Yidam. Yidam. Yes. The answer was Ishta Devta. And what does Ishta mean? First. Oh, Ishta.
I don't speak Sanskrit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Little.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
The Sanskrit word Ishta Devata or Ishta Deva, a compound of Ishta, which means desired, liked, reverenced, and Devate, a deity or divine being.
Yes, yes, Idam, exactly. Ishta Devta. Thank you, thank you. Yes, sometimes it's like Yidam, you know right away. But then mind seal deity, it's like, whoa, mind seal. And this is, for us, we also, like when you hear the word Yidam, we hear it exactly the same. When we say Yidam, our mind never thinks into, it never goes into mind seal deity. We just hear Yidam. Yidam. Yeah. It's very interesting, isn't it? It's sometimes I feel the English terms, they're more like commentaries. Yeah, really, they sound like commentaries. Yeah. In this sort of now, 이제 건지 디파 뒤주셔도 아니 디베 거기 베 티소라자 미 고하고 싶자. 나르나. 온라나. 이등 그 친대잖아. 딜랍션 미수건지 이등 하고 말라. 이등로 샤로시고 말. Yes. Idam. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought to clarify 2 points that Rinpoche mentioned. The first one is about if some bodhisattva practice on Paramitayana path, on Sutra path, and if he in a state of death, he will recognize clear light and will be meditated on emptiness. It will be maximum that he can reach its 10th ground, because he would be missing Rupakaya and Nirmanakaya. He couldn't achieve enlightenment. Is it correct?
I think so. Yes, this is how it is explained. Yes.
Thank you.
A bodhisattva on the Paramitayana can only go far as the 10th Bhumi, right? And then from a certain point, then the Buddha will wake the bodhisattva from this deep meditative state, right? And then empower. This is how it is mentioned in the texts. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And another one for clear light. Rinpoche mentioned it could be different states where somebody can be in clear light, like in a time of sleep, in a death process, and with practice in Hatha Yoga Tantra. So in these 3 cases, what would be more subtle, more coarse of clear light, or they be all same?
I think if it is clear light, I think it's same level of subtleness.
So in these 3 different states, it could be realized, it could be, how to say, recognized clear light in these 3 cases.
Excuse me?
In these 3 cases, or time of death, practice Hatha Yoga Tantra, or in time of sleep, the clear light could be recognized.
I don't know about the clear light. I mean, the clear light of sleep, you said, right? This, I'm not sure. Unless one has one is, by way of meditation, dissolves all and goes through all the dissolution states within sleep, then I think it's a different case, right? Then it's a different case. Then this clear light has the same subtlety. But outside of that, if it is called sleep clear light, then I think I think it has similar aspects to actual clear light, right? To clear light, but I don't think it would have the same subtleness of clear light. This I'm not sure. But if this yogi or yogini is able to go by way of meditating, able to go through all the dissolving process, yeah, in the state of sleep, then definitely this clear light is the same clear light. I mean, like the same subtleness, right? Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. But I still don't know. So next time.
Thank you, Rinpoche, for these generous teachings. I had two questions, and I'm combining other teachings with what you've shared. So if I'm completely misunderstanding, please accept my apologies. When talking about the great bliss as method, and I know there was a similar question about forcefully seizing the course advantageous winds. Is it a matter of allowing the consciousnesses or minds, 8 minds, to rest with the purified state of all phenomena so that the sense objects are purified, so that seizes the winds? Or is it, I don't know, I know the Sanskrit word pratyahara of the reversal of the winds inward. I don't know if, I know you answered that you don't know, so perhaps I'm misasking, but is it a purified state or is it a withdrawal of the consciousness to alaya or alaya vijnana?
Can you paraphrase?
I will try. So when I think about the course winds, or the karmic winds even being picked up through relating to sense consciousnesses, relating to all objects as impure, so not empty in nature, then the winds continue to proliferate. But from my very little understanding, in a purified state, the winds cease. We are not creating more karmic seeds by allowing things to rest in empty nature. So when you said forcefully seizing, is that the just cutting into emptiness in that moment, if we, in our conceptual way that we understand emptiness? Is that how it's forcefully seized, or is it forcefully seized by actually withdrawing the sense consciousness or minds inward?
If I understood it correctly, I think this forcefully seizing of the course winds and minds is by way of integrating this the yoga, right? The yoga of like wind yoga, right? And so like meditating on those points, and then it is by way of these techniques, by way of this wind yoga, then dissolving those coarse states. So not directly related with emptiness. I don't think it is directly related with emptiness, right? I think it is by way of the wind yoga. Yes.
May I ask a clarifying question? Is that bringing it into like the central channel, into the bindus, this kind of practice?
I believe so.
Thank you.
So. Yes.
And sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. May
Please.
I ask a second question?
Please.
Or follow? In regard to the mind seal deity, that was a great question. Is that related to the idea of, if we have Jnana Sattva, Samadhi Sattva, and Samaya Sattva, is the idea of mind seal, I think of seal as like a Samaya? Is that am I understanding that correctly? As the Yidam as the Samaya?
Yes, the Yidam is the Samaya Sattva. Yes.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
You were talking about meditation on the five aggregates in the eye, and kind of you're left with a feeling that the result of that meditation, you continue to rest on that understanding. And then I had the impression that you also discussed what I would call the, hold on. The diamond slivers reasoning. And this is a quote from Nagarjuna. There is no sense in which anything has ever been produced, either from itself, from something else, from both, or causelessly. And then, you know, I've thought about this, and it doesn't lead me anywhere. So I don't know what kind of conclusion you can reach when you do that analysis. And I have a feeling that you were referring to it, but maybe you could give me some explanation or insight into what the end result of the reasoning. Where do you end up with all this, with this meditation? Where are we supposed to end up? Like, I can understand where we end up with meditation on the five aggregates and the eye. I just don't understand where we end up with this meditation.
This logic you stated, it's sometimes we have a saying, it's like the method, like the means. So we say the logic is a means of coming to a conclusion, right? Logic is a means of coming to a result, a point. And sometimes I feel the logic themselves are more complicated than what they are coming to, than the final point, right? How about emptiness? Maybe the mic? If I may ask you a question, emptiness, how does that feel?
Clear, luminous, without thought, resting a state of complete tranquility. and without any conceptual thought.
So you have explained it as an experience. Is that right?
Not my experience, maybe, but
but experience nevertheless.
Yes.
Are all phenomena, would you say they're all empty?
Yes.
So what is empty here?
Empty of true existence.
So empty of true existence, that sounds okay, right?
Sounds okay to me.
Yeah. So then what's the point? What was the point of your question?
The point is, I didn't understand this type of reasoning that's here, where
right.
experientially I can understand
yes,
how you can get to a state of emptiness, but some of these reasonings they don't help me.
That's fine. That's fine. As long as emptiness works, it's okay. This is the point. This is the point of those reasonings, right? And this is what those reasonings, through those reasonings, one tries to come to the point of emptiness. And if emptiness makes sense, let's not worry about the reasonings. You are beyond the reasonings.
So we can, at that point, assuming we ever get there, then disregard the reasonings, because then we just have to develop a deeper sense, holding to that longer.
I'm not saying disregard all the reasonings. For example, Praditya Samutpada, dependent arising, I think that makes perfect sense, right?
Yes.
So as long as you don't disregard that, you're not disregarding the logic, the reasoning of emptiness.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
When doing analytical meditation on emptiness, I always get stuck on seeing the mental consciousness as the permanently existing I. Can you help me move past this?
Oh, could you read again, please?
Mm-hmm. When doing analytical meditation on emptiness, I always get stuck on seeing the mental consciousness as the permanently existing I. Can you help me move past this?
Wasn't it one time, I mean, a few times, more than a few times, where His Holiness, during the teachings explained that one can practice Tantra either with the Prasangika view or with the Chitta-Matrin view, right? I think His Holiness mentioned something like this. If this is the case, for me, when I'm asked this kind of questions, I wonder, do we really have to sort of, what is that word? Proselytize? What? Proselytize. Proselytize. Like, do we have to proselytize every person into the Prasangika school? Right? I mean, of course, to many, the Chitta-Matrin's way of explaining makes really much sense. To so many around the world, the Chitta-Matrin, the Chitta-Matrin way of seeing really makes much sense. And if this works fine, then I think one can also use that, and the Chitta-Matrin's way of emptiness according to the Chitta-Matrin tradition, use that and then bring that into practice. Combine that with compassion. I think it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. We always say the four schools of thought, but then in reality, we are always trying to convert them into the Prasangika system. This, I don't know why. We do this. So, as we talked before, like the alaya consciousness, if this makes sense, that's very good. That's very good, But if you are asking this with the wish to enter the Prasangika view, then we can have some discussion, right? Then we can have some discussion. And then once a person said, this clear light, the clear light is the truly existing thing. Clear light is the truly existing thing, right? Why is clear light not truly existing? Even though it is beginningless, it is endless, all-pervasive, but then why is it not truly existing, right? Why is it not truly existing? It is not truly existing if it truly exists. If anything exists truly, then there is no room for ignorance. There can't be a place for ignorance. It is simply for that reason. It is simply for that reason. If there was a single thing that exists truly, then there is no subject-object. There is no subject-object, right? That cannot exist. How can dependent arising coexist with truly existing, right? So, Praditya Samutpada is really, we say, the king of all reasonings. It is like the greatest reasoning, right? For Shunyata, it is the greatest reasonings. And the main point of why everything is empty is because of Praditya Samutpada, because of dependent arising, right? So, like this, yes. So I think then now we take the break.